So, a lot of the characters in the book are the scientists who are making the bomb, and most of them are actually the real scientists in real life who made the bomb.
Okay.
So I found that out in my research. And I think the traits and experiences of these characters are similar to what the real people experience. I mean, they aren't exactly the same, but they're very similar. For example, like in real life, there were actually accidents and stuff that happened in the making of the bomb, and the same thing happened in the book. The only reason why it wasn't the same is because it wasn't the actual accident, it was like a made-up accident, and it probably affected the character in the book differently than in real life.
Yeah, and the same in our book too. Like the character's name is Sari, and he has to like it shows like the same emotions that they probably were going through in real life, like depression and how they had to leave like their home and move to a different place. And like the experience, still like they have to deal with the American government to like kick them out and to make them move to a different place. And it was just tough for them because they had to like basically start all over again.
Yeah.
I think the two characters are similar because Sorry, the main character in our book, he doesn't really know what's going on, but it's kind of troubling for him because he knows he has the potential to die. Kind of like in your book, just got potential to die in a different way because of the radiation, but he also doesn't know what's going on because it's a secret project.
And is there any differences between the characters in your book and the characters in real life?
Probably the side that they would take and how they would react.
And I think also both of our characters are risky too because he's trying to save his island and like stand up against the government. And yours, I think you mentioned that they're trying to figure out what's going on with the building.
Because it's a big secret.
Yeah.
And like the main character and stuff is trying to find out. Like they don't even know that they're even building a bomb.
Yeah. And this point, instead of getting like pushed around.
So.
Can you say about the characters?
Well, I guess they were like both negatively affected by the making of the bomb and stuff.
How are they negatively affected?
Well, in their book, when they were testing the bomb, they had to like leave their home and stuff. And, like they were like throwing the stuff into the river, which like made it really hot and stuff.
And how does that compare to the research you did?
Because it was pretty much true.
Well, moving into the next question, kind of the tone, it kind of, there's like tension between the government and the islanders, like trying to stop them and what they're doing because they're releasing, like with the bombs, they're putting bad, like they're, like you said, radiation into the air and all that. And it could affect them negatively if they don't do something to like stop it. So it's kind of like you can sense that they're like scared and they don't like that to happen, so they need to stop it.
And like in our book, a lot of there's a little bit, like not a whole lot, but a little bit of anger because the main character, whatever I forget his name. The main character, he, like your cast is
Oh, really? What'd you have?
Grace? Okay. I said every woman back then at the place, they had hope to, like, they all, like, couldn't, they wanted to help in the war, but they couldn't. But then, woman got the chance, but Ida felt different from everybody else because she was black and a woman, so she couldn't really help. So she had to seek it. That doesn't happen nowadays because there's equal and women, men, blacks and whites, they can all fight in the war and they can go to the army, but it's weird how so much has changed and it seems far away.
So basically your character's different because of rights, kind of?
Yeah.
Alright, so rights kind of change over the years that change the course of your story from now. Anyone else have anything?
Well, I said that Kenji was like a Japanese kid and he like people didn't treat him the same because he was not like them and they were fighting in the war, so they didn't feel he was an enemy or a spy. And I would say that they like so he's kind of your character's kind of like Ida because of their skill. They seem like a yeah.
So the girls are kind of similar to the guys.
Well, in mine it's a guy. The main character is Bird, but like
For like
his skin
the color of their skin.
Yeah, so that kind of determines back then, like if you're black or white.
Sort of focuses on discrimination, but it's more like about like growing up in the Great Depression. Like, it's not like discrimination isn't like the main focus right now with the main character Bud, but like I don't know about your book, like
yeah. So we could write like it's like
Kind of sad because
obviously during the Great Depression is sad, and like they're moving from, well, our character's moving from his house, so it's like kind of like she's leaving her family, so it could be like a sad tone of mood.
Or he's in white for you guys.
Okay, so in our book, I think the author almost creates a tone where he really emphasizes on how bad the damage was and everything, but he doesn't really create Zane to feel as scared. He makes him like brave and stuff, like when he calms himself down to go into the attic and find the hatchet to break himself free. And I think that he kind of like just slows the tempo down there and then picks it back up once he finds all the damage.
He never really lets the moment get the best of him.
Yeah.
Because when he's scared, when most of us would get scared in every situation, he's not scared.
Yeah. Well, he kind of seems scared, but he's kind of scared as anyone would be.
I think in our book, the tone is really like the main character is kind of more laid back and again not scared like your character is. So it's similar to your book, and I think that our character is not scared because I don't know, he doesn't think it's that big a deal that the hurricane's coming, so he's not like preparing and stuff. But he really just wants his family and he wants to stay with his family, so I think that shows a lot about who he is, and it kind of makes me feel like he's caring and stuff like that.
So the author made the Titanic feel like it was like a really like amazing place because up to like the ending, nothing really bad even happens.
What in our books, they're only really talking about first class.
Yeah, all our books are like in the first class, so they always say how nice it is and everything. And then this tone kind of makes me feel like the Titanic, and no one even expected anything bad to happen because it was so nice.
It could show you how like it's so like huge and like beautiful that people never like expected it to sink at all, and like they just thought it was impossible since it was so like huge and like luxurious.
In my book, the author sets the tone as very chaotic because it's right before. It starts before the ship hits the iceberg, so I'm at the point where everything's kind of rushing and everybody's getting into the boats.
Oh, that's like completely opposite from mine, because when mine starts, he's like just getting on the boat.
Yeah,
But-
mine's first, and the boat's just finishing being made. That actually is right. So.
And I think this isn't like completely accurate because it leaves out the second and third classes. Because people in the third class, it could have been like really bad and they like maybe couldn't have like
Yeah, it's totally different from first class because it's just mine's based kind of like on crew too, like where they shovel coal and they cook and stuff like that, which is immensely different from first class. How they live. In first class, it's more mature.
Maybe like when you do something, you should think about the consequences. Like John Wilkes Booth, he killed Lincoln, but he didn't think about what would happen to him afterwards.
Yeah, he had this whole escape planned out, but then like he was traveling and like had the close calls that he had, so went to so many different places. Like we have that picture of his trail on our
I think the teacher for my book could be bad actions have bad consequences, because what John Wilkes did was really bad, and even today he's viewed as like a terrible guy because of what he did. So it's like a really bad thing that happened to him.
Can you think of other themes as mine's like on novels, you know, like they write like and stuff? She did.